In a world filled with filters and facades, The Real Life with Lacey is your sanctuary of authenticity. Join me as we unravel true stories that resonate with the human experience. And remember, our ultimate goal is to touch the heart of at least one viewer in every episode. This is where the power of real life takes center stage, and the impact is real. Welcome to a journey of inspiration and connection. Welcome back to the podcast. Today we have a special guest. His name is Sean.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are
been
you
a while,
doing?
huh?
I know, it's been a while.
I'm thinking the last time we saw each other was in Daytona. You guys rented that hotel on the ocean.
Oh, yes. And we went to that one club of yours that was ghetto.
Oh, yeah.
But hey, fun times for sure.
Yeah, you know, since we're politically correct, it's called urban.
Okay.
Just so you know the lingo.
But hey, okay, so just so the viewers get a little background on you.
Okay.
And I. Okay, so we met in 2010.
Sturgis.
Yes. So I was bartending out there.
Yes.
And we met, I think, at One Eye
Jack's. That's 100% correct.
And you were kind enough to offer me to stay with you and bartend at Daytona Beach Bike Rally.
Yes.
Okay. And so I had never been in a strip club before that. Okay. And so you're like, I own a strip club. I'm like, what the fuck is going on, right? And so I come out here and you pick me up from the airport in Orlando.
Yep.
Fucking awesome. We go to Daytona and then I start bartending.
Yep.
And I'm on the main strip.
Main Street, yeah, right there.
And
during Bike Week.
I'm making a few $100s, but nothing great by any means. And
that's me. Sorry. Go ahead.
You don't. Anyways, and then your friends would pick me up on their bike, take me to the club afterwards. Lollipops.
Yeah.
And that was your strip club.
Yep.
And there was a line out the door at 3 a.m., like 2:30 a.m. I'm like, holy fuck, this place is popping, right? Then I'd go in and it was just a party. And then you're like, I don't have room, because I said, can I bartend here? And you're like, I don't have room. I got, my bartenders that are here, but you can sell shots. And I was like, I'll sell fucking shots. I made like $800 in 2 hours, and then fucking partied with you guys in VIP, passed out, and did it all over again. And just what a phenomenal, great time. And so that's just our beginning of our friendship, and then it started a great relationship that's lasted 13 years.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I definitely want to go back from the beginning of you. How did you get into strip clubs?
I was dating my wife, Darlene, at the time, before we got married.
And what year are we talking about?
Oh, God. Early 90s. I mean, it's back. 96 probably, 95, somewhere in there. And she used to go tanning and working out. I was just getting back into working out and everything again. And she used to go to this tanning salon called Sunmasters. It was on International Speedway.
Is it Daytona Beach?
Yeah, yeah. And it was owned by a buddy of mine, Paul, who I met through her. And one day I'm in there in the GM of the Pink Pony, which is now Diamond Dolls, the one that I last time took you into that you said was extremely urban. And he was the manager, GM of the club, and he asked me if I wanted to bounce. Hey, you want to work? I think Race Week was coming up.
So you had never worked in a strip club?
Never worked in a strip club or nothing.
What was your profession at that time?
Nothing, really. I just got done with college and was just kind of down here living through life.
So you were in your 20s?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So then it all, I give him my, you're going to love this because this shows the age shit. Gave him my pager number. There we go. Cell phones weren't an option back then. So I gave my pager number.
Especially when it was like 911.
Oh, shit like that, yeah. So I get this number and, okay, I'll call it. I call it. Well, it's John Cap, his name is. God rest his soul. Great guy. We had our fights and everything. Still a great guy. And he's like, hey, do you want to bounce? I need you tonight at 7:30. So I'm like, okay. So I walk into this strip club, and he puts me to work, and like nobody else shows up. He fired everybody. So I'm running VIP, the front door, and the floor all by myself.
And learning as you go.
You did. I didn't have a day off for 6 months.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then, as John got to know me and things progressed, I started managing for him. And you're actually going to know a lot of the characters. I don't know if you know Marky Mark. No. You might not know Gabe. And then, J-Rod, of course. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they all came with me to the Pony from the gym.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
That's how you.
Yeah, that's how
found your
everybody.
help.
Yeah, that's how. Yeah,
Working out. Yeah.
So and then Darlene was bartending there.
Okay.
So when it came time to where me and John decided to part ways, it was kind of an easy move.
Mm-hmm.
My wife was obviously coming with me because we were married at that time, and the couple of bouncers came with me. J-Rod actually was the last one to come.
Okay.
But John had gotten in his ear and told him I was bad mouthing him, and people are people.
Yeah. So then you decided to open
But,
your own.
Okay, well, let's back up. When I was working the door at the Pony, a guy named Ron, my partner, future partner, used to come in all the time, and we became friends. And the closer we became friends, as I started managing and stuff, I started telling him numbers and things like this. Well, I'm eating dinner at his house once a week at this point and stuff. We're just shooting the shit and having a good time, car shows and all that. And one day he looks at me and says, "Hey, I've heard enough now. Let's find a place. Let's do this." I'm like,
so he had the financial backing.
Yeah. So I said, "Okay, cool." So he goes, "Give me a couple hours. I'll get back to you." Within that couple hours, John over at the Pony was giving me a bunch of shit. I walked in, threw the keys on the desk, said, "Go fuck yourself. You got it."
Yeah.
So then I ran out and I called Ron up. I said, "I hope you're serious." He goes, "Why?" I said, "I just fucking quit my job." He's like, "Dude, I'll tell you how serious I am. Meet me at this address tomorrow morning." So it's over on the beach side.
Was that Lollipops?
It was the beginning of it. Yeah.
Okay. And how big was this?
17,000 square feet.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah. And we had a legal capacity of 890 people.
Okay.
So.
Is that Josh?
No.
Okay. All right. So then, and how many girls did you have on a normal night?
Well, are we talking season or off season?
Let's talk both.
Okay. Here was my one big argument with Daytona. They always bitched about us being there, but they didn't realize the type of money that their constituents were actually putting into the place.
Yeah.
I'm doing all these legal fights with them, which you know about. I ended up in prison after one of them.
Which we need to talk about. We're not going to derail from that.
No, not at all. And so it was a battle with every step of the way with these people.
Yeah, they were fighting you from the beginning.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, just throwing fines at you.
I do got to back up and tell you something that was funny. We went on like a 6-month period to where we couldn't open up, like we were remodeling.
In the very beginning.
Oh yeah, when Ron decides we're going to buy the building, we do it. So Ron says, "Go home tonight and come over to the house tomorrow night for dinner, but draw the club, redo the club so we can remodel." So when I came over for dinner, Ron pulled out his drawing, I pulled out mine. They were literally identical. The only thing different was I took the stage all the way into the dressing room. Remember when you walked out of the dressing room there? So that was the only difference. So we okayed it, and believe it or not, this is where the name came from. His daughter,
Oh, okay.
His daughter had to be like 4 or 5 years old at the time, and she was walking by and she said, "Daddy, what are you and Uncle Sean doing?" Ron said, I don't know where he came up with this. He's like, "Oh, Daddy and Sean are opening up a candy store." And she has older parents. Ron was older than me. She went walking away singing "Lollipop, Lollipop, oh." And me and Ron looked at each other. We're like, "There it is.
Yep, nice.
That's done.
Hell
There's
yeah.
no more, no less." So then, then we finally get open. So you got my wife, we got my brother, God rest his soul. He's managing daytime, and then me and Chris Voorhees, who you've met, who's managing nighttime. And that we started with a skeleton crew, and eventually, it was, the catch-22 in this business is I need women to have guys. Got to have guys there to get the women. So you kind of take anything you can when you first open up a club. Like what you saw when you came down and we met was nothing like that at the beginning.
Yeah, how many years in?
Well, 2000 I opened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was what?
So you were over a decade in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it's the same people. It's like DJ John, God rest his soul. So we're 10 years into it, but at the beginning of it, you take who and whatever walks through that door. Even bar staff wise.
Yeah.
And then you're dealing with cash, so it becomes a trust issue. So you start, I've always said hire friends and family, they only steal 10%.
Yeah.
And so then it got built to where, you came in. I mean, my wife had passed away, she got killed in a car crash. But she had retired from bartending a few years before.
How did she get killed in a car crash?
She was out in St. Louis.
How long were you married?
Well, we were together like 20-some years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she was driving solo?
Yeah. We were separated at the time when it happened.
Oh, okay.
But we were actually supposed to get back together when she got back. And that was different.
Yeah. So how'd that happen? Like she was just.
Oh, the winter snowstorm in St. Louis on the highway flipped the pickup truck.
Was she driving the pickup truck?
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. She was by herself.
Oh.
Head trauma.
Was it? Did she die instantly, or
Yeah.
Yeah. That had to be difficult.
Yeah, I didn't know much about it. There's a whole other side of that story.
But you didn't have children.
No, we had no children.
Yeah.
No children.
And you've never had children.
No.
That you know of.
No, you're correct.
They might come.
Yeah,
out.
if my doctor was any good, I could guarantee I haven't had any. So.
Okay, so.
Oh, you're gonna love this.
What?
So we're sitting at dinner, just because you brought up the children thing.
Uh-huh.
I'm in Cleveland at a Japanese steakhouse with Emily and the whole family. And one of the friends asked, "Hey, do you have any kids?" And Emily turned around and goes, "No, my Uncle Sean's fixed like the dog." That's what Carol told her. So rather than trying to explain a vasectomy, they were just like, "Hey, you got fixed like the dog."
You guys, you're good, right?
Yeah. Might as well.
Yeah. Okay, so something that was crazy to me when I started hanging out at the strip club that not a lot of people know is when strippers come in, they're independent contractors.
Correct.
So when they're walking through the door, they're paying you to walk through.
Yes.
Yeah, describe that.
Well, I mean, being a woman and not being in that industry, I tell you, it's like a beauty salon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your beautician pays to rent the space there. They're independent contractors. Now you got to walk a fine line. There's people that have like what we do here is they're completely treated like independent contractors. They come and go as they please. Mm-hmm. You know, they have their rental fee of the day. They know it up front. We collect it up front. Then they can leave. I care less how long they stay here. I'm not into that person. And then I also do offer them an option. I will pay that minimum wage if they want to go for it.
Why do you want that?
Because if she doesn't want to be an independent contractor and I want to pay her minimum wage, you're getting paid to entertain. You're not getting paid to do VIPs.
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting paid to collect tip money on stage.
Yeah.
So then they
lose some freedom.
Oh, they lose a lot of freedom and a lot of money.
Okay. So what's the amount that they normally pay? And I know it alters from time that they come in.
Well, it depends. I've never been a big fan of that. Excuse me. Because they're there for you in the big picture. I got it. I know. It's Christmas.
Starts buzzing.
So they, we only charge like $25 here, and then during the day, and they're like $45 at night. Mm-hmm. But something else we do is out of their house fee, so there's no discrepancies among the doormen and the DJs. They each get $10 a piece.
Out of that.
Out of that 45,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so then also back dances.
It's all theirs. We rent the room.
Okay.
If you look back there, we rent it by the 15-minute, half hour. What a what? Oh, okay.
There you go.
Okay,
now
got
I can hear you.
Yes, we can rent. They rent the room from us. Is what they do.
Okay.
And then whatever they negotiated with the girl is what they negotiated with the girl.
Okay. Have you had some guys not pay?
Oh, it's always interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, that's a whole, pod series 1, 2, 3, 4 of the stories.
Yeah. Because when they go in the back room, they're like thinking, okay, $15 a dance or whatever the case is. And then they're back there for 5, 6, 7.
Oh.
And then all of a sudden they come out and you're like, hey, you owe this amount. And they're like, what?
Oh, it happens all the time.
And then what happens?
Well, in the heyday, and they'll do it over here, it's actually defrauding an innkeeper. Mm-hmm. So
That's a misdemeanor.
Yeah, we call the police and have them brought in on that.
Okay.
So the moment the cop usually shows up, all of a sudden this guy's got the money again. Mm-hmm. It's, God, I don't want to go there. You'll lose some followers. It's the old saying about dealing with Mexicans. You know what a Mexican and a pool table have in common?
What?
The harder you hit them, the better their English. Okay?
You can only say that because Josh, my husband, is a Mexican.
Yeah.
My producer.
The other day in here, some guy comes walking down the hallway, and we're all watching because he's headed to the bathroom. Right about mid there in the corner over there, he probably just whips it out and starts pissing while he's on his way into the bathroom. We're like, what the hell are you doing?
What are you doing that?
Well, obviously got to clean it up, and then, he's drunk enough to get him settled, get him the hell out of here. But that's like just insane.
Yeah.
But people are interesting,
Oh, yeah.
Remember the tanning bed at the house?
Yeah.
I yanked that tanning bed out of the bathroom, or out of the locker room at Lollipops. I bought it for the girls. Mm-hmm. They'd piss in it rather than go to the bathroom. Imagine firing up a tanning bed after a gallon of urine and what stuff like.
God.
You got it.
Oh yeah, I'd love to. I know that you've told me multiple stories about. I mean, I'm sure we could talk for 5 to 10 hours about the stories. But I remember you telling me you get in an argument with a stripper and then she just took a tampon out and threw it at you.
Yes, correct. In the dressing room. Yeah, she got hit with a grenade.
What did you say?
Oh, nothing. I mean, here's the thing. I've been in it so long, even at that point, because I was so young when I got in it. So I tell people this all the time. The hardest thing for me to do at the gym is not work out and see that hot broad bend over, not slap her on the ass and say hi. I do it all day long at my work. It was like, the way you treat and talk to people is a lot different,
Yeah.
And, but...
You've had girls steal money from each other?
Honey, we had to pull a girl in the dressing room or in the office and tell her to start pulling it out. While her friend was dancing for a guy, she was robbing his wallet and jamming the money in her vagina.
And so you pulled her in the back?
We saw it in the cameras. We pulled her in the office and said, drop them and start pulling money out.
And what did she say? Did she try to deny it?
Oh, of course. They all do.
And you're like, I'm not going in there.
The greatest story since you got this whole thing started, the greatest story ever was I had this girl working for me early on at the Pink Pony. And I'm telling you, I don't care what race, what age. You could be 90 years old and it didn't work. She had it in her mouth 2 seconds into the song.
Oh.
It didn't care. I mean, did not care. So this is when I learned what I'm about to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
So I pull her in the office and I'm like, you can't be doing this shit, I said, one thing, you're absolutely gorgeous. These guys will pay you just to dance for you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do that. And she dead ass looked at me and goes, but I like it.
Oh.
So at that point, I kind of figured out, where do you go from there?
Yeah.
I mean, where do you go? Literally,
well,
hey, at least you're honest. Go back to work. Enjoy yourself.
Have a great time.
You got it. I don't know what to do after that point. But now it's like,
So I remember this. Oh, my God. Okay. So, again, for the viewers to know a little bit more, after we met, then I started coming to visit.
Oh, yeah.
I came multiple times. I brought friends.
Oh, yeah. We're all staying at the house.
We're having a fucking party. I mean, and your house was gorgeous. I mean, you had a movie theater in the house. You had pool. And you were super fucking house warming, right?
Yeah.
And you let, one of your strippers let me borrow her car. I mean, it was just great. Anyways, so one of the times I was visiting, and I loved hanging out in the security room with Knuckles.
Oh, yeah.
Knuckles was such a...
He's still amazing.
Yeah, he was one of your securities, and amazing. I'm sure you could tell us why his name is Knuckles, but... It
came with that. It came with that. It's funny because, Lollipops got so popular that, I don't know if you ever met Kathy, the bartender that was there, but, we would go to other clubs and beg these girls to come work for us, and they finally did. Mm-hmm. And we put a bar staff together. Melissa, Kim, who my wife at the time, Rob's wife, Renee.
There was someone else.
There was all kinds.
Renee.
Rob's wife, Renee. You had Melissa. You had my wife. You had Kathy. We had Jolene. We had all kinds. And it was cool because the club was busy enough and big enough that the girls made good money working a couple nights a week. And most of them had other jobs, day jobs and stuff. So it worked out perfect. But what also worked out perfect was then, realistically, I was overstaffed, because I didn't have enough hours for all of them, but they didn't care. Like I said, they all worked just a couple hours. Yeah. But then when race week and bike week came, I had, 2.5 months of people working every night of the week, full staff.
There was buckets, gallons of
5-gallon buckets
under the bar that they were just throwing tips in.
Yep.
I remember the end of the night, I'm like, fuck, I wish I was bartending right now, because they had thousands.
You're talking about nights where the guy who represented Junior during race week, Dale Jr., Bud Light, when he was the sponsor at the time, bought the whole building around of Bud Lights.
Oh, nice.
And then the 4 main bartenders at the main bar, he took each one of them $1,000.
Oh, fuck yeah.
We had, we had people, we had celebrities coming in.
Yeah, what celebrities?
That was a cool thing.
Porn stars.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, we could keep. Okay, I want to go back to all those stories.
Okay.
But so the story that I was going to tell about when I was in the security room with Knuckles, and I just enjoy, hanging out in there and watching all the TVs and watching all the security system of what's going on, and then you come in and you're like, fucking pull her in. And I was like, who are you pulling in? What's happening? Ooh, this is exciting. And then you pull in one of the strippers from the back room and you're like, look it. And you show the video of her sucking this guy's dick, right? And you're like, you were sucking his dick. And she's just like, looks at you like a deer in headlights. And you're like, you know the rules. You're not allowed to suck any fucking dick. And she's like, and you're like, so you're fined. And there was a certain fine.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was 150 or 200, I don't remember.
Yeah.
And you said the number, and she's like, but he only paid me, it was $50 less of the fine. And then you're like, sweet, then you're paying me $50 to suck his fucking dick. Now, and I was just like, oh, this is awesome.
Oh, yeah. There's another story like that. When we first opened, one of Ron's friends came down.
Mm-hmm.
And they had been friends a lot longer than me and him at that point. And he's telling Ron, Ron told me the story later, he's telling Ron, he's like, you know, how do you know to trust this guy? I mean, you literally just gave him a full third of the business, you know, with you and Miles. And how do you know to trust this guy? And so Ron said, you know, you'll see, you'll get to meet him, blah, blah, blah. Well, that night they were hanging out in the club. We had some action going on in the back room. So I fucking go walking in the back room. This is after hours. And I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, all you fucking bitches can go back to the Pink Pony. I don't give a fuck. Get the fuck out of here. I'm going off. And I'm screaming as I'm coming out the dressing room. And Ron and his partner were sitting at a table. I looked over at Ron. And
I can hear him.
Yeah? Everybody good?
Well, I can hear him.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're going to have to edit this part then.
No, it's all good.
Okay.
No editing.
Oh, there you go. Then let this. Hey, we're in the club. That's why you're here. So guys sweep the floor.
Yeah, that's exactly.
That's it. So we deal with it.
Yeah. All right.
So, you know, as I'm yelling at everybody walking out the dressing room, Ron and his buddy were sitting right there. I looked over at Ron and winked at him because it was all a joke.
Uh-huh.
It's just, that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
You know, it's, I sold a business idea. I'll just tell you a little bit about the beginning. Lollipops was the first strip club in the state of Florida to let a woman in unescorted.
Huh?
Yep.
What do you mean?
In order for you to come into a club prior to 2000 at Lollipops, even in town, you had to have a male escort with you. Okay.
Oh, interesting.
When we first did the video thing, I called Ron up and said, "Hey man, I want to put a big old 12-foot projection up and have the girls dance to music videos." He's like, man, it's not going to work, you know. Okay, so I went and bought it myself and set it all up myself one day. And he used to come in every Wednesday, so he'd come in and he saw the one big screen. Mm-hmm. And after that, like literally one song. And I knew to play U2 because he was a huge fan of it, so we put a U2 video up. After one song, he looked over at me and said, "I want 4 more, let's circle this thing." Yeah. And then you saw what that became.
Oh, that was Josh's favorite part.
Yeah, you know, I always describe...
he would just watch his
videos, yeah. I always told everybody Lollipops was more of a nightclub that accidentally had strippers. Because, I mean, it got to a point where 40% of our clientele were single women.
Oh, there was chicks everywhere.
Yeah, you know, so now you had 200 strippers on a bike night to, you know, 300 women that are in there already. I mean, there is, you know, and that's what everybody loved about it. It was a fun place. But what I built it on was me and my father when I was a kid. Every Sunday, since it's football Sunday today, we'd get up and then run to this local deli. It's called the Lacey's. It was in Maple Heights, Ohio. And we'd get our gabagool and our bread and everything, and we'd go home and watch football. To this day, that store, not that exact store, but the other Lacey's on the other side of town, they have my credit card. And I'll have cold cuts overnight and the bread overnight for football Sundays. So I get it done Friday, so it comes Saturday, and then I got it for Sunday. So I thought to myself when we were designing this thing, I said, you know, and I was lucky, you met DJ John. DJ John, just so you know, had never DJ'd before.
Really?
He was an announcer on Sunshine Network for the hockey team over here, actually.
Okay, and he was in a wheelchair.
And he was in a wheelchair, correct.
Why was he in a wheelchair?
Got a motorcycle wreck.
Oh.
And John was only dead from his knees down.
Okay.
Yeah. And oh God, that's a whole nother fucking 7 days. I love that guy.
Back there with the strippers.
Oh, you know, before we ever opened, you know, me and John would sit there all afternoon. He'd roll in about 1 o'clock. I'd already be there, you know. Well, did we get the permit? Nope. What are we doing today? I don't know. Let's order a pizza. I mean, that's just how it went.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, and then all of a sudden it exploded.
It did. So,
but the theory was that if I could take you, buy music, and put you in a happier place in time, you don't give a shit about spending money.
And that's true.
That's what works.
Music alters.
You heard the music. You heard the music. Let me tell you what. I used to go up to the DJ booth and we're not telling the first one. I'd stick a $100 bill on the table.
You said you're open to tell stories.
Okay. You remember what race week? You remember what race week was like, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a standing.
How many people do you think?
No. What you're forgetting is, and I hate to say this because we're in that time in life here, but you didn't see many blacks hanging out Lollipops during race week.
Yeah.
You know.
Bike.
Any of it. You know what I mean? So, so there was.
Well, race week is the
whole 10 days of all the races. Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it doesn't even exist. The Daytona 500.
Daytona 500.
Yeah, it doesn't even exist anymore. You know.
Yeah.
Daytona's falling apart. No, Daytona's a long story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't even have the 4th of July race anymore.
Okay. But so you had Daytona 500, and then it went into the motorcycle rally.
Correct.
Yeah. So it was how long?
Basically from the second week of January to April 1st, you didn't sleep.
It was crazy.
Unreal.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking a difference of a Friday night of liquor sales at Lollipops back in the heyday be 15,000. We'd go 10 straight days and never come under 50 grand.
A night.
Just in liquor.
Oh my God.
You know, our record goals in the private rooms were one night they did over 4,000 lap dances.
How many girls were on?
Anywhere between 200 and 300.
Yeah.
You know, it was. That's why I say, you know, there was a big falling out at the end of all this, which you're aware of. You know, and there was probably hard feelings about a lot of different things. You know, and I don't think some people made the right choices, or they could have done it differently. But you know what? At the end of the day, I wouldn't be sitting on the couch with you.
Yeah.
And that's the way I look at it. That's the way I look at it. It's like, you know, who really cares what the ending of the story is? Because the story ain't over yet.
Yeah, it never is.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so what celebrities did you have?
Mickey Rourke come in and hung out with us. Steven Tyler, Nikki Sixx, Mariah Carey, Jack Nicholson was in.
And so when a celebrity came...
Who's the guy that played Blade? The movie Blade? Wesley Snipes, yes. Wesley Snipes came in.
So when they come in, do they let you know prior that they're on their way?
No.
Okay. So
let me take that back. If they're security guys or local police, I knew enough of them. We got a phone call.
Okay. And then when they come in, do you?
Wine and dine them, of course.
Yeah, right to the VIP.
You know, you try to tell people, and I'm not going to tell the ending of the story because it really doesn't matter. But when Michael Jordan came in the club, there's 300 people out front on their cell phone calling people, going, you know, you're not going to fucking believe who's here. You know, I mean, that was just crazy.
And what was the most money one of them? You don't have to say which one if you don't want to. Dropped in one night.
See, that's the part you don't want to tell.
See, I asked if there was anything you don't want to
That's
talk
not
about.
okay. I'll tell you. They don't spend a dime when they're in the clubs.
Really?
100%.
So not even with the girls, strippers? They don't tip? Wow, must be nice to be fucking famous.
I bought a gentleman his drinks all night long and his entourage. And at the end of the night, I was so excited to go talk to the waitress to see how much she tipped him, and she didn't tip him a dime.
What?
So the next night, he come up to the door and, hey, Sean, you know, can we do the same thing? I'm like, no, bro, man, you got to go sit at the table and pay to come in. He's like, what? I said, dude, you guys didn't even tip anybody last night.
Yeah.
You think a normal person would have reached in their pocket and did what they did? Just turned around and left.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, you know, but I mean, there's all kinds of stories like that. There's all kinds, you know, with the famous people.
Yeah, for sure.
You know.
Now, are you allowing? Because you normally don't allow photos in the club.
Oh, nowadays that's second nature. It's ridiculous. They
So
go
back
live.
in the day,
we take the camera.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
So now you can't.
They just can't stop it because the girls are filming themselves on stage. You know. Hey, I'll tell you another classic stripper story. When I first opened up the place over here in Tampa, not this one, the one about 5-6 years ago, I had to call some girl in and tell her, hey, look, you know, I don't care if you're being a prostitute, but don't advertise on these books pages and stuff with fucking the name of the club behind you.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, you know, it's like, come on, at least have a little class.
Oh. That's awesome. Well, yeah, okay, so then let's go back just a little bit about how did you get incarcerated?
Okay. My partner, Ron.
And what year is this?
Let's see, last year would have been 15 years. So 22 minus 15, whatever year that is.
Okay, so in the late 90s.
Yeah, no, it's still in 2000. 23
Oh,
minus
23.
3, yeah, minus 15.
Don't mind me.
No, not at all. We are at a bar.
So in the, like, 08.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Okay.
So we were getting politically activated, you know, to get the right councilman in that wouldn't bother us, because the city was constantly breaking our balls about everything. You know, but you couldn't put a sign up without going through 6 months of litigation.
Now, was this because they didn't want a strip club there?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, so but you weren't the first strip club.
No.
So
They
then,
just, it was a good fight for political years, you know.
Okay, just a money making fight?
Yeah, that's all. You know, Darlene Jordan was a city commissioner too, which was what our zone was. You know, I don't know if you remember that at the end of the street there, right in front of Lollipops, there's that curve that automatically takes you back to A1A. If you actually broke out a tape measure, that thing was built illegally. They didn't give it, you know, size-wise. They didn't give a shit. They just didn't want people going in and out of the neighborhoods. And that's why I always used to laugh at them and tell them, don't you realize the people you're bitching and trying to save are the ones that are coming down here?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not surviving on just race week, bike week alone.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so it was always funny with the city. So anyway, long story short, you know, we were doing, you know, asking people to campaign. And according to the city of Daytona Beach, I gave you, just to use, not you in general, but just to use these as an example, I gave you $500. Then you took my $500 and went donated it, and acted as if it was you, and that is against the law. The law doesn't even exist today. Oh, I'll tell you one better. By the time I got incarcerated and was locked up, the city attorney of the land did the same thing. They slapped him on his wrist. My parole officer, because they send you to a parole officer first to get what he thinks you should do time-wise, said 6 months probation. That was it, no jail time. The judge flat out told me I'm making an example of it.
So how long did you get?
6 months. Which, you know, I got to tell you, that was wild. You know, you freak the first time the cell doors shut behind you. I don't care how bad of a man you are. When you realize, now wait a minute, so now you regroup and go, okay, I got to do 6 months, 180 days, 160 days, or whatever it is. I could do this. So then you wake up in the morning and you got like fucking down to 129 days to get all the good behavior up front. So they only take it away from you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so then I got a job and you know, being the club that it was and in the town that it was, I mean, there wasn't a guard that worked there I didn't know. I mean, it was like out of the movie shit being locked up.
Quiet.
No, I probably went down. No.
Hello?
I could hear you.
That shit just got quiet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. You know, so it.
Hey, the battery might be dying again. Go look in the suitcase. Hey, this is live.
Yeah, it goes what it goes.
Hold on. Did you step on this thing?
I don't know. Fuck.
Yeah, it's altering. We're gonna change the battery.
All right.
All right.
Break time.
Yeah, break. Shot time. Even
Break
though it's like
time.
8 a.m.
Oh,
Talking about?
Yeah,
Do you remember what we were talking about?
Well, you guys were going down a different road.
yeah, we were starting down the road of my bucket list.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, that was off camera.
Oh, that was off camera? Okay.
Well, it was technically on live.
Yeah, that's fine, but that's for the podcast. So do you remember what conversation we were having?
My jail time. Yeah, so,
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, all right, so they picked me up and they charged me with an illegal campaign contribution of a total of $1,500. The one that found me guilty was $500. And so they made an example out of me, put me in jail. Now, what the funniest part about that, Lacey, is when I walked into jail, I was 500 pounds.
Oh.
In
How much do you weigh right now?
I'm 300 right now.
Okay.
In 129 days locked up in jail, I lost 150 pounds. The girl I was dating at the time when I got out, she come walking by the front of the club. I had to yell at her.
Didn't recognize you?
No, didn't recognize me.
That's crazy.
Now it's funny that we're on that story because that girl's name was Lacey. Do you remember actually what happened the first time I met you?
You said the last Lacey I met is crazy.
Well, that was
Okay.
no. God, what was his name? Matt, the bar back. Goes, hey,
Share the videos.
hey, you got to meet this girl, Lacey. So I walk over, or you got to meet this girl. They didn't tell me your name was Lacey. They didn't tell me your name was Lacey. So I walk over, and they're like, Matt's like, hey, this is. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I already had enough headaches with one of them.
Yes, that is the connection, Matt.
Yeah, Matt was the connection with us.
Because what the fuck is happening with all this?
I don't know. We got crossed. Wow, that sounds better.
Okay. Yes.
It's the third mic in here.
Okay.
You're cut off.
So Matt was
Matt was a connection
bar back
for us,
at
yeah.
Full Throttle Saloon for me,
Yep.
and he was your bar back here.
Yes.
Yes.
That's
so
how
that
that all
was
worked
the
out.
connection. Okay. So back to prison. You were in for 6 months.
Yep.
But they kept finding you for like because you were.
Okay, the
were you
first-
supposed to be topless here?
So first, okay, there's a nudity ordinance, and the girls had to wear like so much has to be covered. Before all this even went down, our first year open, we had 87 arrests for the nudity violation. Now it's
Who was getting arrested?
the girls, the managers. Oh yeah, whenever they came in and busted the club, the manager automatically went. So we got smart about halfway through and made DJ John the manager. Volusia County didn't have transportation for handicapped. So they just wrote him a ticket. Saved me $50. So
Poor John.
Oh yeah, so we had 87 arrests. You know, I mean, and it got to the point really like the cops would walk in and they'd be like, "Hey, Sean, go get us 10 girls and let's just get out of here." So I go grab 10 girls. And, while I'm headed out the door, we're calling a bondsman. We're in and out. It's it's just to show headlines while they're stealing money somewhere else.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
it's
you
like
finally got over that.
yeah, you finally get through all that stuff. But we were in court and they dropped all the charges.
Oh.
Every girl wanted their day in court. All 87 arrests.
Oh, nice.
Hey, the city can't do that.
Yeah.
There ain't enough time in 10 years to do that
Yeah.
in that system.
Yeah.
So that all got dropped, and then then we just kept going on.
And then you finally did get topless?
No, we're never.
Oh.
They're still not.
Oh, in Daytona they're
Yeah,
not?
no.
So what's the rule in Tampa? We're in Tampa right now.
Yeah, we're in Tampa right now. Some of it's full nude, some of it's topless, and some of it's bikini.
It just depends on the county.
It depends where you're at, part of the city, stuff like that.
So California is full nude,
Mm-hmm.
but no alcohol.
Okay. Yeah. See, I think we got a couple here that are full nude with liquor.
Yeah.
You know, the reasoning behind that is they claim that you guys get us all riled up when you're naked and you go out and cause crime. So when we were going through our federal lawsuit with Lollipops, we did a study. Cost us $87,000 to have a guy study it. Remember 600 North the Plaza, down at the end of the street, the big hotel.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, the big hotel. Uh-oh.
What the hell happened?
Uh-oh.
And it's fully
What, did it just shut off on its own?
It's fully charged. This is fun.
Is there a way to plug it in the back door?
Nope. It's all battery. And the battery's going.
There it is. Just came. Well, I heard the click. There it is. Well, that was weird. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to talk about this.
What were we going for?
All right, can't even remember at this
Okay.
point.
Well, let's talk about the porn star.
What porn star?
Shut the fuck up.
So, hey, look, one thing I've always said about everybody, what is it? There's guys do two things in the shower. They either sing or jack off. Do you know what song they sing? Well, nobody does, because they don't. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I had a bucket list thing in 2015 when the club fell apart and I had time on my hands. I thought to myself, okay, I've been jerking off to this broad for like 15 years. There's got to be a way. They're paying her to have sex.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it can't be that far of a stretch, though. Well, there's a whole fucking community out there, let me tell you, that they will set you up with porn stars and do all kinds of stuff.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
So you found her.
I found her. Mother's Day, like 5 years ago.
Is she a mom?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So, what, do you want to say her name?
Oh, Ryan Connor.
Okay.
Yeah, she's like the MILF of the year this year or something like
Okay.
that. No, she was a blast. She's a great lady. I mean, you know what's
How
funny?
much did you have to pay her?
$1,600. Come on.
Oh, for what?
For checking off the bucket? What do you mean for what?
Just
Hello?
Sex? Just sex?
Well, I mean, we obviously talked in the middle of it and stuff, but yeah. Actually, let me tell you what happened with that whole deal. She asked me what I was doing the rest of the night, and I ended up taking her out to dinner and everything. Yeah, how about that, huh?
Oh, nice, nice. Oh, yeah. Sure. Okay. These fucking mics are fucking up.
Are they? No, I got mine.
I don't know what is going on.
No?
That's what happens when we go to
Live,
a different
live.
location.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, we may just have to regather, and I'll fly out to California.
Yeah, like I'm barely hearing anything right now.
Oh, that sucks.
Hold on. We gotta pause this. Alright. So last we were talking about
Uh-huh. Your guess is as good as mine.
porn star.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ryan Connor, yeah.
Okay, so how did you find...
There's websites.
Yeah,
right?
what websites?
Good God, I don't know. We gonna get in trouble. Eros.com.
Okay, and then you go ahead on
Wherever
this-
city you want to go to, look around, California, New York, whatever it is, and they have different, whether she's got big tits, big ass, mature,
Or you can
porn
search by
star,
name.
or by name, yeah.
Okay.
But and that's like the beginning of it. That's where you kind of, oh wait a minute, this one actually does this, which. How could it be a surprise?
Yeah, if you've been watching.
So it's not, but what was cool was when I first reached out by email, she was cool.
Yeah.
That was, what I mean? That made the difference. Like, the first time we were going to try to plan to meet, we couldn't hook up dates, and she was cool about it,
So does she live in Florida?
No, she's a Las Vegas girl.
So did you have to fly out there?
No, she was in town.
Oh, perfect.
They travel all over the place. You
Yeah,
gotta remember Tampa, Miami, they're one of the few places a lot of porn goes on.
Yeah.
A lot of filming of it, then out in LA and all that.
Oh, and going back to porn, you had a porn star that came to Lollipops.
Oh, multiples. We have, what the heck's her name? The old broad. Yeah, fuck, I can see her name and I can't think of it. Nina Hartley. Nina Hartley celebrated her birthday with us.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and how did she celebrate it?
Well,
On stage,
yeah,
yeah.
of course, yeah. No, but it's funny because I want to say like back then she said she was like 45 And that was like 60 years ago now, it seems, you know. It's like,
I don't think it was
yeah, you know, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, no, you weren't.
Yeah.
Stop lying. You're still making porn. I hope you're not 70 doing that, but whatever, you know.
And then you start charging extra at the door for people to get in.
Oh, yeah, because you're bringing the big features.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we brought in that one. Jessie, thanks her name, she was married to the biker, but to West Coast Choppers. She had all the tattoos. She went by something or another. Yeah.
Okay.
Want to know a funny story about the whole porn thing, you know? I went back to Cleveland for like fucking 20 years. So I rolled back into town and I started seeing some of the guys I went to high school with. And one of my buddies, Tim, goes, "Hey, man, by the way, you're not the only guy that's in the adult industry." We were laughing about. I'm like, "What do you mean?" The kid I went to high school with is the guy that actually created Jenna Jameson.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you create?
Well, the websites. He was the one that put her on the pages. He was the one that started all that stuff.
He wasn't fucking her.
No, it was his wife.
Like, oh.
Oh, they did scenes together and stuff.
Oh, his wife.
Oh, yeah, it was actually his wife. Yeah, he married Jenna.
Nice.
Yeah, and built that dynasty. You know?
All right.
Yeah, so.
So back when, so when you have big names, then
Oh,
you
yeah.
charge more.
Charge
so
more at the door.
What do you normally charge at the door?
It's like $10, you know.
But are girls free?
Yeah, women were always free.
Okay.
Military, all that stuff's always free. We don't.
Okay.
I do it here at the local one. Here. You're a cop or whatever. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, and so when it was big names, how much more? Did it go up to like 25 or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Not much more because we had such volume. You remember how big the place was.
Yeah. So,
You know, and they charged you like they would come in for 3 days, and it might be $500 a show. So she's going to do 2 shows on Thursday. Then 3 on Friday, 3 on Saturday. You pay them accordingly, and then we set them up front where the pool tables were and all that stuff. They'd sell their videos and all that.
Yeah.
But that was prior to the internet being
Videos?
so strong. Oh yeah, remember?
The DVDs?
Yeah, exactly.
Or VHSs?
DVD. Hey, you laughed. The first time I was watching porn was on an 8mm, robbing it from one of my dad's drawers or something like that. Yeah, I'm old though, kid. No sound, no nothing. You know how boring porn is when it doesn't sound?
Okay, so how much on those bike nights were you bringing in nightly?
Oh, when you're talking, okay, if you want to go through the whole picture of everything, you take the front door, you take the front door, you take the VIP numbers, you take the bar sales. I mean, you take the cuts from everything. You start throwing it in. I mean,
and you also make money from like when people get changed too, right?
10% on the ones. That back then we didn't do it. We did. That's something that has come since then.
Okay.
But I mean, bottom line, we had 2 ATM machines. They had $80,000 a piece in them. I mean, you're talking a couple $100,000 in a night, easy.
Mm-hmm.
But you're also talking about. I knew girls that came down that would work, the 10 days of race week. Make $30,000-$40,000 in 10 days.
Crazy.
Yeah, come back, go bike week, do the same thing, not have to work the rest of the year.
Wow.
And that's the biggest fallout leading into that, to like what we have today. And I get it. Why would you go to a strip club and drop a bunch of money and hope you can get it when shit, it's at your fingertips online?
Yeah. Are you having an issue with that?
No. Well,
People
I mean, I think the biggest issue where the business is at now is, the average 25-year-old doesn't have a job. Or a job that can pay the bills where he's out of his mother's basement or whatever it may be.
Fucking snowflakes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I've always said we needed more counselors. So when you come in and tell your counselor that you're going to study liberal arts, they're honest and say, "Well, you're not going to make enough money to pay back any of your fucking student loans. This is what you're going to do." So it's like, but they don't. But we're finding out a lot about that now.
Yeah.
But that's the biggest difference. Is like bike week. When's the last time you saw somebody under 30 years old on a motorcycle? They don't exist.
Yeah.
It's too easy to just touch it with your fingers.
Yeah. But you still have like birthday parties, bachelor parties.
All the
shit
time.
Like
Yeah. Men are never going to stop getting married.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. I know.
Yeah,
Even though
yeah.
they should learn, but it's whatever. Now, what happened with the NFL with you?
Okay.
Didn't they used to hire?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me give you the story with the NFL. My best friend, one of my coaches, I went to Washburn University in Topeka, Kansas. It was more known for their law school, like Dole went there. My best friend Les was one of the coaches, and he was going to law school. And I mean, to this day, his kids call me uncle. I mean, I was with them every day of the week while I was in college. Girlfriends, whoever I was with us, we were always together. And when Les got out, he got into the NCAA, working with the investigations part, I believe it was at first. And then Les ended up doing working for the NFL. And basically what he is is you're going to draft a player. Les is the guy that goes and finds his first grade teacher and talks to him to see how mentally stable he is.
Oh, okay.
Stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, people that watch the NFL on Sundays honestly have no clue. This was a big eye opener for me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was some incidents with the NFL, Minnesota. You got to go years back.
What years are we talking?
Early 2000s.
Okay.
Early. And you had incidents with players in Vegas at the strip clubs. Yeah, Minnesota specifically had one where they rented a houseboat, brought strippers on the houseboat. So
sounds like a fun time.
So typical NFL manner, they have their meetings every year, and somebody makes a comment that, hey, we got issues with these guys not understanding the nightlife. My buddy Les says, well, I got a guy that owns a strip club, maybe he'll talk. So Les called me, and next thing you know, away we go. And they're flying me out, and I'm talking to the rookies, and it was funny because...
So flying you out to where?
Oh, Minnesota was where I first started. Then Cincinnati, all over the place. And the funny one was when I first started, it was like, okay, the rookies were there because that's who they wanted it for, the rookie Symposium, and all that stuff. So I'm just talking to these guys, and I don't write anything down. I fly by the seat of my pants. So the next time I came out to Minnesota the next year to do it with the rookies, it was the hottest sales ticket on earth. Because of the way the show went, not the show, but the explanation when people were laughing, had so much fun. I literally had the secretaries from the Vikings in the room listening to me talk.
What were you telling them?
I'll tell you a story. I'm in Oakland, 5 o'clock in the morning. California. I'm on the East Coast. I'm up at like the crack of dawn because of the time change.
Yeah.
So I'm walking around. I got no idea what I'm going to talk about, and every Raider fan knows it, man. Just win, baby. That's. I mean, it's plastered all over where they're practicing at. The just win thing. So I started out the next session about I get introduced and everything else. I said the story just like I did. I said, guys, I'm walking around. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about, and I see the just win. And I said, ain't that the truth? Just win. I said, but gentlemen, the only thing I know that's undefeated is pussy. You're replaced long before she loses you. You're gone, buddy. See you later. And it goes right into this whole, like the God's cruelest joke on earth is our sexual habits. I mean, really think about it. We have to lick each other where we pee to get off. You wouldn't do that sober. I wouldn't do that sober. Couple cocktails, the hormone kicks. I got my tongue buried in your ass, and we're sitting here, forgetting his shit like 10 minutes ago. Doesn't matter. Who cares? Those are our nasty habits. And then you come to the harsh reality of you take away our sexual habits, and men and women have no fucking use for each other. None. When's the last time you call up the old man and say, let's go get a manicure? When's the last time you come? Well,
we get pedicures together all the time.
That's because he's pussy whipped and he knows it. By the way, folks, Josh is a good friend of mine.
Well, he won't deny it.
It is what it is,
Yeah. You don't go get pedicures with your
Oh, yeah, well, it just... okay.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I do though. I get manicures and pedicures. I always have. Remember my nails used to be black and stuff? No, but what I'm saying is, the majority of the stuff women do with women, guys do with guys, I mean, not anymore because, got to be politically correct and, got to use the proper pronouns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know. Okay, so then what's your thought on the NFL with current situations? I know you were briefly telling me about...
Oh, well, here's the biggest thing, Lacey. We all sit here and watch that game. And these are the two big... Like, people always ask me, do you go to a sports bar to watch? No. I can't stand being around people. It's like, why don't I coach, Little League football? Why don't I coach Little League football? Because you could take every high school athlete, both male and female, in all female and male sports, and 4% of them make it to the level of professional.
Yeah.
So that father who thinks he's going to live vicariously through his kid, who absolutely has no fucking talent,
we see it all the time,
bingo, there you go.
Yeah,
so that's it. The other thing that people forget is, and everybody's going to go, woe's me when I say, the average NFL player is making minimum wage. We see the big contracts because that's what they got to talk about.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to tell you the minimum wage is $800,000. Okay, that sounds like a lot. So over 3 years, which now you're getting into it, that's the average NFL career. It's only 3 years.
Yeah.
So he's made $2.4 million. Well, Uncle Sam got his share. His agent got his share.
Yeah.
He bought his mom and dad cars and a house. Didn't have to be anything elaborate. Bought himself some nice stuff. And 3 years into it, he's broke. Flat out broke.
And killing himself in the process.
Yeah, and it just, that's if he just does what's average.
Yeah.
If he's above average, yeah, God bless those guys. But I was always that guy too early on until I actually got involved in it, where I'm like, they're making way too much fucking money.
Yeah.
You can't pay them enough money.
But But you were also mentioning something about the strip clubs.
Oh yeah, well, there was issues with. That's how I ended up there, where they were having issues. God, I don't even know if he's retired or not. One of the NFL players was in Las Vegas and decided to show off and threw $30,000 around. Well, at the end of the night, he thought he could go collect it. Yeah. Like, give me my money back. I was just showing off and having fun.
Oh, probably just did that.
Yeah, the rain thing with $30,000. Yeah, well, he learned the hard way that it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
That's, it's. I guess we were like, look at me. I mean, you made all that money young, lose it, then you start making the comeback.
Now, how did you lose it?
Oh, I was living like everybody else, paycheck to paycheck. I mean, but my paychecks were huge.
Yes.
And then here's what happened. Ron died. Ron died.
That was your partner?
And he actually owned the building, and Miles actually owned the business. And Miles and Ron's widow got into an argument. And Miles stood strong, and it ended up costing him everything.
And then you got booted out of Lollipops?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And then what'd you do?
The original idea was Bob Russell, an old friend of mine, a longtime friend of mine, kept telling me how we're going to do this club together, Well, I since now have found out that, like, literally the same time he's telling me we're doing it together, he actually gathered the bar staff up together and, said, I'm not going to do this with Sean. Do any of you care? And nobody cared.
Oh.
After all the years. Yeah, see, this is like, some of the bar staff wonders why I'm like, fuck them all and who cares, and I wouldn't piss on them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is what, I know these things.
Yeah.
I wasn't flying through the night,
Mm-hmm.
But, at the end of the day, I mean, as I did, I got my payback. I mean, the guy was nothing more than a scam artist. And a young man out of California called me and said, hey, how do you know Bob Russell? And he was the one that Bob stole $600,000 from and started blasting it, I mean, I was sued over all this for defamation of character and everything else.
Bob?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never even went to trial.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they accused me of wondering if I thought he was gay, and I was like, no, dude, I did what I did. I own a strip club. That's it. Yeah, not my opinion anyways, But yeah, so Bob basically screwed me out of all that.
Yeah.
And I mean, it took a while. There's that old saying, in order to really wreck somebody's image, you got to destroy them personally, and that's what those guys did to me. They started calling me a thief, that I stole from Lollipops, which, please, if there's an accountant out in this world watching this or somebody, how do you steal from yourself when you own the fucking place?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, okay, yeah, because you had the beautiful house.
Oh, I had it all.
You had a huge motorhome.
Okay,
you had
now see,
cars.
here's where the things took a switch.
Yeah.
Brett Hartley, my attorney, remember Brett? He's dead. Oh yeah, Brett turned into a full-blown heroin addict.
Oh.
That's where the money went. I found out one day in my house I had 24 hours to get out of it. His trust was supposed to be making my payments, and he wasn't. He was just taking the money from me.
Oh.
Because we were in a legal deal with the bank.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah. So it just all went bye-bye.
Oh no.
Yeah, and then I had a couple $100,000 saved up, and he did the same thing to me and Miles. Miles put in $300 up in Jacksonville in a little club. And Brett actually stole the money. He actually stole money from his father-in-law, $500,000.
Your attorney?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
and he died?
Yeah, heroin overdose. Yeah. No,
I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah, no, we got enough trouble with the mafia shit around here. We don't need any more of that. When I was going through the trial.
Mafia?
Oh, when I was going through the trial, the fucking Channel 2 News in Orlando decides to call me the Tony Soprano at Daytona Beach, Florida.
Really?
Oh, honey, I was at, we had this commissioner, Big John, his name was, the county commissioner. I was at the Oyster Pub after all this started, and I had a politician walk up and shake my hand, said he always wanted to shake a hand of a guy like me. I'm like, guy like who? He goes, everybody in this town knows you're in the mob. I was like, yeah, and that's when I politely told him, I said, if I was, all you fuckers would be dead already. We wouldn't have tolerated this petty bullshit you're putting us through. Fucking retards.
You're like, if it was 50 years ago. But nowadays.
Actually, there's still places, but.
Yeah. Okay, so then how did you come back up from...
Well, one of the things you do is when you have a place like Lollipops, even to this day I hear it, Sean had nothing to do with that. He was just, manager, whatever it was. The truth is, I made that place.
You were the face of it.
I made that place a lot of money. I'll give you an example. One of my managers was working for a boat company, and, she was about to go out of business. She was a thief. And I offered him a door job, and then I turned him into a manager. And his wife was selling clothes at the fucking Volusia Mall for I don't know, fucking $300 a week or something. Like, get her over here a bartender, save that guy's life, To this day, he's yet to even call me about my mother or my brother dying. But that's the way they are. First person I met in the place when I walked into Florida was Kim.
Yeah.
And the first person to turn on me was Kim.
How do you, what's your suggestion for people to find out that people are actually manipulating them? How do you even see through it?
You don't. You just do what I just told you earlier. If I hire friends and family, they'll only steal 10%.
Yeah.
The biggest advice biggest advice I could give to anybody, pay yourself first. Period.
What do you mean by that?
When you sit on Monday and you own a business and you know what you have to have budget wise and everything else, before you even start throwing money at that budget, you pay yourself.
And why?
Because at least at the end of it, if you go out of business because you can't afford the bills, you've paid yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Because nobody's going to look out for you. Look at the jealousy.
Well,
I mean, and it's all different kinds. 600 North closes down. I hire Joe. These are the people that turned on me. People that didn't have jobs that came. People that never seen money. These are people that ate at my house on holidays. 4th of July parties.
Your mom would bring.
Oh, food to the club
Yeah.
every. And this is where I tell people though. Am I mad at any of them? Nah, they embarrassed themselves. A lot of people don't know they did.
It's still hurtful when it happens.
But they know they did. You know what though? Let me ask you this though. What else is hurtful? Was it hurtful that I took off and left the club on bike night at 10 o'clock because I was going to go have some fun, and those guys were still working their ass off?
Mm-hmm.
They served a purpose.
Yeah.
Just like I served a purpose to them.
Yeah.
The only nice thing is that you always have is, we've always said it, often imitated, never duplicated.
Yeah.
There'll never be another.
Yeah.
And there's not a generation that can support that.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
music. Think about the music. You play AC/DC in this place, 90% of the people look at you don't even know who it is.
What?
Yeah.
Things have changed.
The kids.
Yeah.
They
The
don't
kids.
listen to this. They actually don't listen to music.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, no, that is sad and it is hurtful to, have people that you really did love, and that was like.
They were family. They were family as far as I was
decade and a half, or
and it's like the whole thing. I mean, I used to get yelled at all the time to fire certain people. And then all of a sudden you see them want to be friends. Joe and Rob couldn't wait to get rid of fucking Kim, and then all of a sudden they're all best buddies. What a joke when you know the backstab of it.
Everyone
But
is
see, I know that
backstab.
part, but you know what? Nobody needs to know that. Who cares? They're all going to make their own bed.
Yeah.
I hope to God they're all happy, thriving, and multi-millionaires everywhere there. Because I don't even think about it unless people are over and we're having conversations about it.
Yeah, well, that's good.
You know.
Because you don't want it to eat at you.
No,
You know,
and like I told you though, nobody benefited from that more than me. Nobody,
How's
so
that?
well because the business, the money, the reputation,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I was getting ready to tell you. You build something like that, you pick the phone up and call somebody. Next thing I know, I'm in Cleveland, running clubs in Cleveland. I mean,
Okay, so you're not doing that any longer?
no, this is the only place I'm talking to right now.
Okay, so after your attorney and everyone.
Yeah,
and
well,
all
after we
that-
go up to Jacksonville, then I go back up to Jacksonville because my buddy Mike owns some clubs in Jacksonville. And he puts me in charge of a couple of his clubs, and I'm making money there. Then Mike decides he wants to open up the Gold Club in Pompano Beach. He's like, hey, will you go down there? I'm like, well, yeah, you give me a place to stay. Well, he goes, dude, I got a 4-bedroom house down there. Go on down. So now I'm down half a year in Pompano Beach.
Where's that at?
It's down right above Lauderdale.
Okay.
So now I'm in South Florida. I was excited to go play with the big boys, The location of the club wasn't the best, but I got to tell you, probably hands down the most beautiful club I've ever walked in.
Really?
The bathrooms had marble floors.
Ooh.
It was crazy.
What was that one called?
That was the Gold Club of Pompano Beach.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
He's
how-
got one here. He's got one in Jacksonville.
So you were just managing it?
Yeah. That's
Okay.
working for my buddy Mike,
All right, how long were you there?
Oh, got it. Probably 6 months, 8 months or so. Then I came back up because my brother had passed that Thanksgiving. And then I came back up. What did I come up for? Because Mike was going to sell the place. So I came back up and got a job. And I opened up a place called the Cheetah, which those guys have now since left. It was over at International Speedway. They're gone. And after I got done dealing with the Cheetah, that was when the gentleman from Diamond Dolls, Nick, got a hold of me and asked me if I wanted to work with him. So I did. Now, Diamond Dolls, irony of all this, is the original Pink Pony where I started.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so now I'm back where I started. But the neighborhood has changed quite a bit. And when I was in Jacksonville, I learned how to run the urban club. There's a lot of differences in an urban club. So, I learned how to do that. Well, I convinced Nick, and it didn't take much because most of his help wanted to do it. And now Diamond Dolls is thriving, absolutely thriving. Rappers go to it and everything. Yeah, it's
So you
nice.
just went there to manage it for a little bit?
Yeah, I helped
and
him out, get him set up and everything else. Then I parted my way again.
Okay.
And then that's when Mom got sick. I had some money put away, so I just hung tight. It didn't take long. I mean, literally, she went from driving a car to dead in a week and a half. I mean, it was
From what? What?
heart failure. That's all it was.
Oh, how old was she?
95.
She lived a good, long life.
Lace, I walked into the hospital and she looked at me and said, "Well, I guess this is it." They had her on the drip, the adrenaline, keeping her alive. She's like, "I guess this is it." I said, "God bless you, Mom."
Aw.
I was born and raised Catholic my whole life, and I don't want to say I've ever fallen away from it. I've always believed strongly in it. I'm sorry, but when you're sitting, especially down on the beach at night, you look up in that sky, this place is fucking amazing. And so I started going back to church when she got sick, and I just started praying that die with dignity.
Yeah.
Because that's and that was the coolest thing. My father went into surgery and never came out, and then Mom really died with she never shit herself, pissed herself, threw up on herself. Never had me. I never had a carrier. Never had a bedpan.
That's amazing for 95
Oh yeah,
years old.
yeah.
No, I told my children if I ever get to that point,
awful.
help me leave.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
I know my dad struggled with dementia for 6 to 8 years. It was and he was a strong ass man. Like he would have been so fucking pissed to go out the way he did.
You know what's funny? Through this process, like I said, you really find out who your friends are. I don't know if you remember Tommy Lynch was the bar back. Tommy, bald guy. You'd know him if you saw him. He ended up letting me stay at his house for a while. We could call this one girl biker Wendy. She was awesome. I stayed at her place for a while, and I could have always went home, but I just didn't. I didn't want my mom to be worrying about me. So I did what I had to do to survive, and then this opportunity came after my mom passed, and so why not do it again? But now.
And so now you're owning this.
Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah, there's.
Yeah. Do you have partners?
In a way, yes, and in a way, no.
Yeah, you're not gonna get fucked over again,
No,
right?
no.
Okay.
There's none of that. Everything's good and secure.
All right.
And like I told you earlier, I kind of got fucked over my own stupidity too. I mean, I was pissed when Miles didn't want to pay Becky. I thought that was just a bunch of bullshit. So I kind of walked away and left it in his hands. And boy, was that a mistake.
Yeah. Who's here?
We got the DJ up there.
Ah.
And he's probably cleaning in the lockers or something.
Oh, he's right there.
Oh, wait.
Nice.
That's DJ Nice. In Como.
Yeah. Well, this is a nice place.
Thank you.
I was hoping some strippers would come before we end and get them to chat.
Oh, boy.
Do you have any other crazy stripper stories? I know you have like 800 fucking million.
I'm going to tell you one of the greatest stories with strippers, though. And it's God rest his soul, and I'll tell you, I love this guy, DJ John. So he was handicapped, like we talked earlier. So he would call it, I got to tap a kid. Got to, put the catheter in so he could pee. So John puts the catheter.
I thought he was just from the knees down.
Yeah, but his body functions
okay.
were messed up. So John is up in his booth, and all of a sudden, I mean, I could tell
That's not true.
No. I could tell in his voice that he needed me right away to the DJ booth. I mean, it was just one of those.
Yeah.
So I ran up and
All right, you guys, we're gonna hear a little background noise because they did open. So
is it 12 o'clock yet?
almost.
Almost. Yeah, it's not open yet.
5 till. That's okay.
So anyway,
That's totally fine.
so anyways, long story short, DJ John calls me up to the booth, and I get up there. He's like, "Dude, you gotta find this girl." He goes, "Man, she kind of walked in and fucking I was tapping my kidney, and I think she thought I was jerking off up here." All was fucking hysterical. Absolutely fucking hysterical. Yeah, like I was telling.
Did you find her?
Oh yeah, like I was telling you earlier, I threw a $100 bill on one time during race week. I bet if he wouldn't play the hokey pokey, and I am not shitting you, they had the line doing it. It was a stripper, left foot. The strippers were doing it on stage. The customers. I mean, but that was the type of fun you had.
Yeah, no, it was a great time.
I mean, they don't even make music like that anymore to have fun.
Yeah.
That's the sad thing, is we're losing all the intimacy of actually meeting somebody in a place like this. Me and you at the bar.
Yeah.
I mean, bottom line,
Yeah.
It wasn't online or anything. Oh boy, hey,
Yeah.
we fell in love lying to each other because we're 2,000 miles away from each other.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
No, you have a lot of couples that come in here, though.
Oh yeah, well the world has changed. That's a definite.
Yeah.
That's a definite.
I mean, Josh and I came to strip clubs multiple times, and people get the wrong. I think people have the wrong thought on strip clubs.
They don't understand that 90% of this is a fantasy setup. That's all this is. This is fantasy land. I promise you, the girl that you think's in love with you hates your guts. You're probably the wrong sex to begin with. Just all those, the typicals. But you know what? No matter how many times, how many times you tell somebody, they don't listen.
No. And do you ever see strippers actually fall in love with your clients?
I don't know if it's
Your
love.
customers?
I don't know if it's love, but I know of a chief surgeon in charge of a hospital lost his whole life because of it.
Ooh, what happened?
The affair.
Oh, he was married and started having an affair with.
And they got to the point where the hospital was embarrassed now because it was a big name, big local, and wife throwing a big fit.
Yeah. So do you see a lot of men, maybe even women, get sucked into it and really fall in love with a stripper and think they're in love and start paying them hella money?
Oh, I've watched it for years.
Yeah.
The sugar daddy exists. He's real.
Oh, yeah.
He's real. But once again, then who benefits from that at the end of the day? If that guy's got that much money, he doesn't want that headache. That's why he's doing it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of truth to Pretty Woman at the end.
Yeah.
When he's like, you can have anything you want, and he's no good at relationships.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot to it.
I know one time, kind of off the beaten path, but we were at the Bunny Ranch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it was the bike.
Oh, I got a story about that for you.
I mean, we were not going to have sex with a hooker, but there was a bunch of us there and just wanted to see there was a bar, and they gave us a tour of the place. It was during the bike rally, right?
Hey, hookers have feelings too,
We had no intentions. I'm not frowning upon it. I know that you are a fan, but
it's not so much as a fan. It's like, look at my poor buddy over here married to you. I know damn right well you ain't cheap.
Oh, fuck no.
Exactly.
No.
So he's paying for it anyways. The only difference is I ain't got to put up with the shit he's got to put up with.
He's fine. You're fine. but anyway, so we were there and we were watching, and this guy walks in, and he was pretty fucking hot, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they line up the girls, and they're like, "Hey, I'm Susie. I am Bunny,"
Yep.
whatever the case is. And he picks one and goes to the back, and I'm like, "What the
Well, that's
fuck?"
how-
He shouldn't have to pay for that, right? But he had a wedding ring on. So obviously he was doing it because he just wanted her not to call.
Did you ever think that a guy could get to a point where he is just tired of your bullshit? Like women in general? Not personally, I get that. But you know what I'm saying? Hey, and it goes for women. This is the other side of the fence. If you think about it, this is where we're at nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 50. I'll be 57 or whatever the hell I am. I should be a grandfather about 4 times over the old school way. Now people, I know multiple people that have never even been married.
Yeah.
Not even tried it.
Yeah. No, and you don't have to, for sure.
Oh, well, it's not a matter of I have to. I don't know. I kind of miss those old days. Things were, when you went and found your friends because the bicycles were laying in front of you out. There's a lot of, compared to now.
Yes, and those times are long gone, but
And,
how beautiful they were.
And I mean, I've always said this to my friends. I don't know how you even compete with the internet with your kids. I mean, there isn't a porn site that all you have to do is say you're 18.
Yeah.
They don't check anything. There's no way of checking. You got that. It's like when we were in federal court and the judge asked me, about the nudity in Daytona and stuff like that, what I thought of it. I said, Your Honor, here's what I honestly think of it, and I still think of it this way. There ain't a window in this building. I'm not standing out front begging fucking people to come in. I'm running an advertisement, a sports page, and some radio ads. That's all we're doing.
Yeah.
Nobody's seeing anything. But yet on Sunday afternoon, I got to sit with my nieces, nephews, and my friends' kids, and every other commercial tells them if they don't take this fucking blue pill and have a heart on for 4 hours, they're inadequate. You tell me who's doing more fucking damage in the world. You know what I mean? I've never dragged anybody in there, but boy, are they brainwashing us that,
This is a natural erection environment.
Yeah. Anyway, we all know the true story. You talk all kinds of shit. It's 3 minutes of fun and goodbye. Yeah. I mean, the anxiety runs right out the head of it. It's over with,
Yeah. Now, while I was visiting, and I'm sure you've seen this many times, stripper fights.
Oh, God, yeah. All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
So what do they normally
Let me tell you something. In the bar business, well, you are in the bar business. You tell me where the filthiest place is in your building. It's in a female restroom. That fucking whole hover thing doesn't work. You're pissing all over the seats and everything else. And then get in an environment, add alcohol.
Tampons.
Well, not even, but you get in your environment in a strip club, and there's a lot of beautiful girls working. You're with your old man. The environment's alcohol. Everybody's wound up. And all of a sudden, he's paying more attention to somebody else than you.
Oh, so you see not stripper on stripper fight.
Oh, honey.
But you're talking about
3
the
o'clock,
wife
3
or
o'clock in the
girlfriend.
afternoon, the lollipops. I'm in the office, and I see this woman walk in, and she stands at the front door. I don't know what she's there for, so I walk in. I'm like, Hey, can I help you? She goes, oh no, I'm just coming to check the place out.
Oh, she's-
Well, we let women in. So she walks up to the main bar, orders a drink. She kind of looks around. Next thing I know, she grabbed the bar stool. Her husband was sitting at the stage and knocked his ass out. Now the best part of the whole story was
That reminds me of a story.
Best part of the whole story was they became like some of our best customers. She was only pissed because he was there without her.
Did you kick her out?
No, I think they're one of some of our best customers.
But at the time when she
Oh
did it-
God, yeah, he's separating. You know, and he's like, don't call the cops. It's my wife. I'm like, what the fuck?
She can't go to jail again.
You got it. You know, it's like crazy time.
Okay, and then stripper on stripper fights.
Oh yeah, it's over money.
So like if they're both
You know,
on
my
the stage,
you have
right?
no idea how many times. Here's the two things that I've always had fun with the girls. First of all, they're not your fucking customers, you're mine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we
Yes,
give you the space to go.
yes.
Okay, and you know, second of all, it's like they get into this whole possession thing, and they don't even understand that the more you become friends with them, the less you actually
What more do you become friends with
get.
the
The less
customer?
yeah, you know. Now next thing you know, you're hanging out with him outside. He's giving you $100. He used to come in and see you 5 times a week. Now he's seeing you once a week outside.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it's everybody's choices too. I mean, I don't know. You know, everybody's different. You
Yeah.
know? I mean, you know, you have no idea how many times, you know, I had a girl tell me, you know, hey, this guy just fucking paid me $20 a song. You know, we were back there for 15 songs, and all I did was kick him in the balls.
Hey, oh yeah, there's some crazy
Oh,
twisty
you know,
shit out
you
there.
know,
that's for
yeah,
sure.
that, you know.
And she probably enjoyed it.
I mean, we had a guy sitting on the floor one time, told the waitress to go in the bathroom, stick his finger in her, or stick her finger in her ass, and let him smell it, and he'd give her $100. So she comes running to me. What should I do? I'm like, you go stick your finger anywhere but your ass and let him smell it. Who cares?
Yeah.
And just get the $100. I mean, really, go run in the fucking toilet and go, here, there's a little runny. I mean, something.
Okay, bro.
Fucking something.
Oh.
You know?
Okay, since we are live also,
Oh, God.
Josh is going to read if there's any Q&As for Sean.
Nothing.
Well, he's going to read right now if anyone wants to send anything.
No.
We're going to continue talking, and then Josh, if you want to butt in with any questions, then we'll, okay? All right. Okay, any other crazy stripper stories? I know.
Okay, so let me tell you. We had this event in town where it wasn't healthy for the businesses. So a lot of businesses would shut down at Daytona.
What do you mean?
So,
What do you mean?
yeah, well, you know,
What event?
yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean, it was Black College Reunion.
Okay.
And all the black college kids would come to Daytona. Well, it wasn't the college kids. It was like a takeover.
Oh.
You know, we had franchises that closed their doors for the 3 days they were there because of so many walkouts and stuff like that. So,
Oh wow.
you know, so I didn't even want to have the headache, so we locked the doors. I took everybody on a cruise.
Ooh,
Well, you want a
nice.
stripper story? I'll give you the stripper story. So my one buddy brings his girlfriend. God, DJ John's even got a better one. My one buddy brings his girlfriend with us, and we're all out hanging out at night, you know, in the decks and stuff. And all of a sudden, we hear this girl fucking screaming.
And this is on the cruise ship?
Yeah, it's on a cruise ship. Security's chasing one of the girls we brought with us, one of the strippers, because she's completely naked, running through the ship. She ends up jumping in the fishnet, because, you know, I don't know if you ever noticed the cruises, there's no water at night. You know, they just put a net there so you don't fucking kill yourself if you're dumb enough to jump in. So she jumps in that fucking fishnet, and it was like a Super Bowl kickoff of flashes from cameras. I mean, people were just taking pictures.
Oh my god.
So the best one though is DJ John. You know, he's in the handicap, and he dates this I'm telling you, stunning girl, Jordan. Which Jordan was the mother-daughter operation I had going. When we had a mother-daughter dance, and Jordan was the daughter. Beautiful girl. And God rest her soul though, Jordan had a rough one, and she was a fantastic person. So John brings her on the cruise. Well, he's handicapped, so I go over to help with his bags, and I grab one of her bags, and I'm fucking telling you, I could barely lift it up. So I get him up in his room and her up in the room, and we set it out. We open up the bags. She had whips, chains. Oh yeah, you name it.
For DJ John?
Yeah. So like we didn't even see John for like 2 days. You know. So they threw her off the pool deck for meeting a G-string. That got all twisted up. So she got pissed off about it. So formal night when everybody's dressed up, she comes walking down, these beautiful black shoes, beautiful black slacks, and not a fucking thing else on, boy. Walked right into formal night on the cruise ship.
Topless?
Oh my God, they went fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
held
tried
it.
to arrest her?
Oh yeah, locked her in a room. Hell, we were on our way home. Nobody
Yeah,
cared.
yeah.
But it was just funny because like nobody saw DJ John for like 2 days.
No, my
You know,
God.
we saw her, so it's like, did you like leave him, strapped to the bed?
Probably. Probably. What's he gonna do? Walk off?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Poor guy. Yeah. So, I know when we went to visit that last club you had, the Urban Club.
Yeah, Diamond Dolls.
Yeah. A bunch of us when we were on our way to Key West.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you were showing us around, and
Yep.
you showed us into the I don't know where they get dressed.
Yeah.
I don't know. A dressing room, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, and there was 3 girls fighting over drugs.
Oh yeah. It's
I mean,
you know,
they
the
were-
fight thing. It's like, you know, where do you begin and where do you start to an extent, you know? But my favorite thing is when the girls fight, I finally figured out a way to solve it. You actually bring them in and make them best friends. You sit them down and tell them, so just how this works, you could be in Europe tomorrow. If she gets in trouble in here, you're both fighting. So now you're each other's best friends. Because if you fuck up, she's fighting. And that usually solves the problem. We call it becoming best friends because you better get to know her, otherwise you're gonna lose your job.
Nice. Well, that's a
I mean, you know,
handle it.
it's just the environment itself it creates something. It really does on its own.
Yeah.
You know, when people are sexually open, you know, it's just, you know, everybody's got it. Come on, man. We all have the animal. You know, you got kids. Josh got kids. Everybody's got kids. You know, that didn't happen by accident.
No.
You know.
Yep. No, I agree. Yeah. No, I love it. So, what's your hours of operation?
From 3 o'clock or 12 o'clock in the afternoon to 3 in the morning.
7 days a week?
7 days a week.
Wow.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right. All right. Well.
We already got people here.
Yeah. Yeah. We do. Is there any questions?
No.
No questions. All right. Well,
Josh
then.
ain't getting in the fire. He knows better.
Yeah. You don't have questions? Okay, whatever. All right. Well, it's been a pleasure. Do you want to talk about anything else before we
Good.
sign
This is
off?
great.
Yeah.
Great seeing you. Great meeting you. Both of you. It's fantastic.
Yeah, me as well. I know. It's been too long, for sure.
So when you're ready to do it again, holla.
Well, for sure. All right. Thanks again for joining us on The Real Life with Lacey. And Sean, you've been a great guest, and
Thank you.
I'm sure you can go on, and we'll probably have you back to go on and on again about more stories. And
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you again. See you next time.
Yeah.
Don't miss out on a single moment of The Real Life with Lacey. Hit that subscribe button so you'll always be the first to know when a new episode drops. Together, we'll keep uncovering the authenticity of life. Subscribe now and join our vibrant community of real stories and real connections.